Okay, I'm gonna start by asking you just some questions to kind of get to know you. Okay, so what are your favorite classes in school and why?
I would say math because I like working with numbers.
Okay, very cool. I liked math too. What kind of job do you want once you get out of high school?
I think I want to be a softball coach or just a coach in general.
Do you play other sports?
No, I just play softball, but I did play basketball when I was in like junior high.
Gotcha. Okay. What genre of music do you like to listen to?
I like to listen to country.
Okay. Who is your hero and why?
I would say my mom's my hero just because she knows what to say and she's always there for me.
Moms are the best, for sure. Okay. If you were to win $1 million, what would you do first?
I would take all my friends on a vacation, probably.
Nice. I want to be your friend, Lynn. Okay. What are some of your hobbies outside of school?
I run track, well, I used to, and then just softball.
Okay.
Takes up a lot of my time.
Can relate. And if you could travel one place, where would you go and who would you take?
I've always wanted to go to Florida, so I'd probably choose Florida.
Okay.
And I would take my best friend.
Very cool. Okay. So that helps me understand a little bit more about you. And when I'm making lessons, it'll help me get those together with things that you're interested in. Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to have you take this little quiz on the computer. So it's only like 20 questions, a little over 20 questions, I guess. Oh my goodness, a little bit more than that. Okay, so you have 1 through 5, 1 being this statement does not describe you at all, and 5 being this statement is exactly you. So just answer which one would best work with you. And then whenever you're done with that, just let me know.
Okay. Do you want me to read them out loud or just?
No, you just go through it. This will find your strengths. Perfect. And then this. Very cool. Your strength is body movement. That makes sense since you're an athlete. Okay, I will do some more looking into that. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we are going to, not this one, we want this one. Okay, this is a meta comprehension strategy assessment. What we're gonna do is this, each question gives you a list of 4 items of things you can do to help you understand a story better before, during, or after you read it. So you're gonna read all 4 of the statements and decide which one of them you think would help you the most. There are no right or wrong answers, so whatever you put is completely okay. It's just whatever you think would help you the most. So you're gonna read through those by yourself silently, and then there is a back page, so don't forget that. And then whenever you're done, just let me know. I hope my phone does not die. Okay. Awesome. Almost done. Promise. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to have you look at this list of words. And I'm going to have you start at this first box. And I just want you to go through and read me those words.
Okay. Capacious, limitation, pretext, intrigue, delusion, immaculate, assent, acrid, binocular, embankment.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and go to the next one. That first one was tricking me too. I didn't. Okay, go to the
Okay.
there.
Consensuous, isolation, molecule, ritual, momentous, vulnerable, kinship, conservation, jaunty, inventive.
Okay, good job. And go ahead and go on to the last one.
Okay, zany, jerkin, nausea, gratuitous, linear, inept, legality, aspen, amnesty, barometer.
Good job. Okay. Great job. Okay. Now. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a passage to read. This selection is going to be about stereo speakers. You're going to read it to find find out about the different types of speakers people use to listen to music. Read it carefully because I'm going to ask you to tell me what you know about stereo speakers based on the information that you read in the passage.
Okay.
And then, yep, once you're just gonna read this in your head, you don't have to read it out loud.
Okay.
So whenever you're done reading it, let me know. Good? Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to tell me about the passage you just read.
Okay, so it's about different speakers. There's a dynamic and a planar, and it's pretty much just how the sound travels through different waves. But that there's something that could block the sound, and that people should buy like speakers based off of how it sounds. So like I take it as like you might like a different sound versus me, so like we might choose like different speakers. There's different prices of the speakers.
Very good. How are dynamic driver speakers and planar speakers different?
I think, I don't remember which one it is, but one is more like low cost than the other. I think it was the dynamic is more low cost, so cheaper.
Okay. Never mind, hold on, scratch that one. How is a bass reflex speaker different from a sealed box speaker?
I think the reflex was the one where like it allows the sound waves to travel through it and it's gonna be louder, but like the sealed one is where it was like the box was in the back, and I think that like keeps the sound in just a little bit.
Very good. And in terms of a placement in a room, which type of dynamic driver speaker would be best to place against a wall?
I think the sealed one.
And do you remember why?
I think it would just keep the sound in, considering it's like in a room, like it would be a little bit more quiet versus the other speakers.
Perfect. Great job. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna go back through and read this a second time, but this time I'm going to use a timer on my phone, and I'm going to see how long it takes you to read the passage.
Okay.
As you go through, I'm going to be following along with you on this page.
Okay.
Let me see that, please. Thank you. Alrighty. Okay, and then we will begin on your time.
Okay. Ready, go.
Hold on, you're doing this one out loud.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, my fault.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Almost everyone has listened to music at one time or another, yet few understand how stereo loudspeakers work. Simply put, all stereo loudspeakers are transducers that change electrical signals from an amplifier into sound waves. Beyond this simplistic explanation, stereo speakers diverge into many different types that even the most enthusiastic music lovers can find perplexing. In general, all speakers can be placed into one of the two major categories depending on how the electrical signal is converted to sound. The most prevalent type of speaker uses dynamic drivers, those familiar cones and domes found in both low-cost and expensive models. Basically, this type of speaker has air exciting diagrams, cones and domes that are driven by the electromagnet component made up of voice coil and magnet. As an electrical signal is sent from the amplifier, the component moves back and forth. The cone or dome fixed to the voice coil moves with it, resulting in sound waves in the air in front and behind. The other type of speaker, which produces sound differently from dynamic speakers, is often referred to as planar designed speaker. This type of speaker, which generally costs substantially more than the dynamic driver type, abandons the use of the voice coil and magnet component in lieu of a flat surface or long ribbon-like strip that is directly driven by the audio signal from the amplifier to create sound waves. Since most people rarely encounter this type of speaker, the remainder of the discussion will focus on two major types of dynamic driver speaker. All dynamic speakers need an enclosure to help prevent something called backwave cancellation. Since all dynamic drivers radiate sound behind as well as in front, if there is no way to control the back wave, it will literally cancel out the front wave, resulting in little or no sound. Thus, the enclosure of a stereo speaker serves to deal with this sonic problem. The most common type of speaker is the acoustic suspension or steel box speaker, which was developed in the 1950s. In this type of speaker, the woofer dome is mounted on an airtight enclosure so that its forward surface radiates freely into the room, while its back wave is lost in the internal volume of the sealed box. Since the back wave cannot radiate out into the room, there is no risk of front wave cancellation, and it is possible to get powerful bass from the rather diminutive box. The one limitation of this design is that half its acoustical potential back wave is lost. Therefore, an acoustic suspension speaker requires more amplifier power than the equivalent unsealed box to achieve a given level of sound. The other major type of dynamic speaker is called the bass reflex design. This design uses an enclosure that has a carefully designed opening or vent, which allows the woofer's back wave to escape into the listening area. This type of design tries to capitalize on the back wave by manipulating it so that it reaches the listening area in phase with the front wave. Thus, the overall sound is reinforced rather than degraded. This approach produces a more efficient speaker so that all other things being equal, vented speakers can produce more volume per amplifier watt than acoustic suspension speakers. Regardless of design, today's speakers far outdistance those of 10 years ago in terms of quality of sound per dollar invested. Since no two speakers sound alike, regardless of design specifications, the ultimate concern with purchasing a speaker should probably not be design, but how it sounds to the individual buyer.
Awesome job. Okay, so that is it. We are all done. Okay, thank you so much. That is session 1.